I want to talk about Lutnick's proposal, 50-50 chip production split with Taiwan, 50% in Taiwan, 50% in the US. And he's using that as leverage for the tariff negotiation. So his argument is, help us help you. Move 50% of your production chain to the US and we'll protect you. And if you guys move 50% of the chip production to the US, we can use that to build weapons to help protect you. That's interesting because imagine this. Let's say you're a farmer. You have cows, sheep, goats, chickens, right? If they don't produce milk, if they don't produce meat, if they don't produce eggs, are you still gonna shelter them? Are you still gonna give them food? You're gonna tell me, hold on. We're not taking Taiwan's entire manufacturing ability. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, when we get half of the productivity as Taiwan, and like Lutnick so elegantly put, Taiwan is 9,000 miles from us and only 90 miles from China. Why would we send our military to protect them? Especially under Trump. If China invades Taiwan, and Taiwan is obviously going to ask America to help defend it, and immediately Trump is going to ask, oh, okay, what are you going to give us? What are you doing for us in exchange to protect you? You got to give me something, right? You got to give me something to go to Congress. You got to give me something to tell the American people. What are we getting to in return, right? Because it's all about deals. It's all about him getting something and you getting something. Most of the time it's him getting something, but that's another topic. So he's immediately going to ask Taiwan, how about you bring all your manufacturing to the US and we'll protect you. But hold on. Taiwan is going to say, wait, we already moved half of our production chain over to the US. What about that? No. But now, that wasn't part of the deal. That wasn't part of the deal. Just like what he did with Japan and Korea. That wasn't part of the deal. So, hey, if Taiwan's government is going to believe in Trump, then go ahead. But I don't know if I would believe that. So essentially, if the US already has half of Taiwan's productivity, then they for sure will ask to bring all the productivity, all the semiconductor productivity to the US in an event of a China invasion. Because now they can. If Taiwan doesn't move half of its productivity to the US, then the US have no choice but to come and protect Taiwan because the US needs the GPUs, the US needs the iPhones, the US needs all these high-end semiconductors, right? So again, think about it. Why would Taiwan do that? And especially under Trump, in an event of an invasion, he's only going to ask you, what are you giving in return? And because you're under fire, because you're under duress, even though Taiwan already gives something to guarantee that protection, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And actually, TSMC is already planning to produce over half of its high-end chip production here in the US. And let's take a look. So even though some fabs are just starting production, there are others that are planned for, but eventually it will get to 50-50. And then here's why. There are a total of 3 fabs, 2 in planning, and 1 is starting production. First fab is 4 nanometers. Anything under 7 nanometers is considered advanced semiconductors, if you will. So first fab, 4 nanometer nodes. Second fab, 3 nanometer nodes, and also some 2 nanometer nodes, and it's under construction. And what's planned for the future? Third fab, 2 nanometers or more, or even more advanced than that. Okay, so the first fab is late 2024, early 2025. So again, it's already under production. Second fab is 2028, target production starting 2028. And the third fab in Arizona is around 2030. Here's what Taiwan has in terms of advanced chip production. Fab 18, 5 nanometers and 3 nanometers. Fab 20, 2 nanometers, and it's under construction as well. So it's not even done yet. Fab 22, 2 nanometers. That one is done. Taiwan is about to have two, and then one is under construction of advanced chip manufacturing, and then the US has one with two under construction and planning to go in production, all for advanced chip manufacturing. So it's about to be 3 versus 3. Now there's obviously going to be a slower ramp up here in the US because of the cost, because of the regulatory red tapes. But eventually that'll get pretty close to 50-50. So in terms of tariff negotiation, what are we talking about 50-50? It's about the other chip producers, the Foxconn and Quanta. So Quanta is mostly in laptops manufacturing, and Foxconn, if for those who doesn't know, they assemble the iPhones. The majority of the iPhones are assembled by Foxconn, and other companies, they will be impacted by the tariff negotiation. TSMC does not worry. They're not worried about the tariffs. They're not worried about the Section 232 or the customized sector tariffs. Why is that? So today, let's say today you're NVIDIA, AMD, or Intel, because all three of them contracts their manufacturing out to TSMC, right? And today you're NVIDIA. You give your chip design to TSMC. They make your chip. When they finish building to print, whose products are those? Are they TSMC's products, or NVIDIA's products, or AMD's products, or Intel's products? And do you see any TSMC labels on any of the GPUs or CPUs that you're buying on Amazon, on Newegg, on Micro Center? No. So they're not really worried. They're not exporters. They're not importers. They're not worried about the tariffs. They're gonna tell you, hey NVIDIA, where do you want your products? Hey AMD, where do you want your products? Oh, you want your products to be assembled in China? Okay, we'll send it to China. You want your product to be assembled in Vietnam because some Asus ROG, they assembled in Vietnam. We'll send it to Vietnam, no problem. The only reason they're moving their production to the US is purely due to political pressure. And I'll tell you why. Everyone on the board of the directors of TSMC are foreigners or Americans, except for those appointed by the Taiwanese government. If you don't believe me, just go check. And here are some reactions from Taiwan. This guy says, only idiots who think that a 50-50 negotiation with criminals and robbers can guarantee safety. Yeah, I mean, just look at Trump and NATO. When he says that he doesn't know if if any NATO countries are under attack, if the US is gonna send military help. So yeah, that pretty much sums up. And this guy is saying, who's taking advantage of Taiwan, China or the US? Okay, this is probably someone who's Chinese, since it's in simplified Chinese. And this one says, I think it's just the same crap from either parties. Both are trash. Okay, real quick. For those who doesn't know, Taiwan also has a bipartisan government. So back to what this guy was saying. It's normal for those elites to move Taiwan's valuable assets, TSMC, to the US. They are prepping for the CCP takeover, so they can run away to the US. Eventually, they will also send Taiwan's foreign deposits to the US, and they will still have generational wealth in the US. Yes. I think that's definitely their plan, but they're not sure if and when will China invasion happen, but they need to have a backup. Thank you for listening, and let me know what you think about the 50-50 proposal. I know at this moment, Taiwan has already rejected the proposal to move the production line, but it's interesting to see where the negotiation is going to go next.